I think that when we have never been shown a certain path, what numbers in marketing should we measure? Why is cost per lead a decent metric to measure, but it's not nearly as valuable as customer acquisition cost and lifetime value, and specifically the ratio between those two? If you've never been shared that before, then that is unconscious incompetence. Hey everyone, two of the things that we just really don't talk about very much in business is guilt and shame. At the time of this recording, I'm about a month out of the April marketing workshop. And from that workshop, some of the things that we talked about specifically on customer acquisition cost and lifetime value of a customer, and then finally the relationship between those two and why that is important in growing your business. Coming off the back of that workshop, we got a lot of people through Voxer or email or on some of our sessions that we followed up with in the community had said, I've been in business for a really long time and we've had some success. We've grown the business and I don't know any of these numbers. And I wonder how I was able to even grow the business to this point without knowing these numbers. And I could sense the almost shame that they were carrying, thinking, have I been faking business this entire time? And so let me just share with all of you, you're not alone. And I want to talk about this idea of unconscious incompetence. See, there's a difference between being unconsciously incompetent versus being consciously incompetent. If nobody has ever shared with you, as we discussed in the marketing workshop, these numbers on customer acquisition cost and lifetime value, if you've never been exposed to that before, how were you going to learn? I mean, it's not like we all go to business school to learn how to do business. I mean, myself, I even got a business degree in finance, and I had no idea what I was doing when it came to running my books as a small business owner. I didn't know the difference between QuickBooks and Quicken, let alone how to read a P&L. And so I think that when we have never been shown a certain path, what numbers in marketing should we measure? Why is cost per lead a decent metric to measure, but it's not nearly as valuable as customer acquisition cost and lifetime value, and specifically the ratio between those two? Why is that so important? If you've never been shared that before, then that is unconscious incompetence. Conscious incompetence is once you actually have been exposed to these numbers, when you have been exposed to different ways of thinking, whenever you have learned what these numbers are, then you decide not to do anything with it. You don't take the marketing dashboard template and begin to implement it into your business. You don't actually go through and try to figure out, well, what is an average customer, worth to me? What is my customer acquisition cost? And how do I actually measure those two things? I just did a video you can go back and watch or listen, and it's called the Hawthorne effect. And the Hawthorne effect, it basically means once you start to measure something, things will automatically improve. And that goes true for your marketing dashboard, your financials. I mean, even probably worse personally if you started to measure, your caloric intake or how many steps you took a day, et cetera. Once you begin to measure things, they just automatically get better. I'm actually tracking my time right now, and my awareness of where I am investing my time, where I'm spending my time, which business is my time going to, and then inside those businesses, how much time am I spending on the things that I actually need to spend in order to grow the business? What does that actually look like? Well, that's the Hawthorne effect at work. And so just in actually doing something. So if it was our Above the Business marketing workshop that you attended, or it's the May leadership workshop, or it's the quarterly in June, or some of the other ones we got later this year, systemizing your sales in July, even the AI or the AI squared workshop that we have coming up in August, there will be new concepts new frameworks that you've never heard before in business. Hey, if you'd like some help in getting above the business, not just working on it or in it, but getting above the business, two ways we can help. Number one, go to blueprintos.com. You can register for one of my above the business workshops. 2 hours, always on Tuesday, once a month. We take a topic, sales, marketing, team development, and we help you go deep. We oftentimes bring on guest speakers, totally free, completely live, blueprintos.com. And then also on that page, you'll see that you can book in a blueprint game plan call. If you would like us to look into your business, myself or someone on my team, to find out about where you are today, we call that point A, and find out where you're trying to go, your point B, then we'll also help you begin to map out a plan to remove the barriers and whatever's blocking your forward progress. Either way, just go to blueprintos.com, and I look forward to seeing you either on a game plan call or one of our above the business workshops. And I think that letting go of the shame, the inner critic that we have to we almost kick ourselves. I should have known this. Why didn't I know this? Am I a kind of a bad business owner because I didn't know some of these numbers? I don't think that's the case at all. I think that that is unconscious incompetence. But once you've then been exposed to these numbers, then that's whenever, or concepts or frameworks, then I think you actually working to do something about it is important. It was, I don't know, maybe 8 years ago when I first was exposed to the idea of customer acquisition cost and lifetime value, and starting to really figure out, how do you actually calculate those two? And then what's customer acquisition cost, lifetime value? What about return on investment? What about CPA, cost per acquisition? All of these terminologies, this vernacular of business, and then specifically around marketing that I'm talking about today, I felt that. I was like, what? I feel like it's like there's the Wizard of Oz. There's somebody behind the curtain that, they know all these things. They know all these secrets of business. I don't know those things. And I started to almost in some cases kind of fake the way that my way around to seem like that I knew what I was talking about. But the reality was I didn't. I didn't know. But once you then are exposed and somebody kind of walks you through and guides you through it, then I think the responsibility does shift to you. And so if you've ever, whether it's this podcast or some of our above the business workshops that we run on a monthly basis, or even other conferences, other podcasts, other books that you read in business that help you to become a better business owner, a better entrepreneur. If you've ever felt that kind of guilt or that shame, you've beat yourself up over not knowing some of those things, my hope is that you can kind of go back and self-reflect and say, you know what? Nobody has ever shared this with me before. This is new. I'm going to give myself a pass, but now I know. And if now I know, then that's when I now have a responsibility to decide if that's something that I want to learn more about and I want to design and implement into my business. Which leads me to my last point. And that is, there are too many good ideas. There are too many, business concepts and tools and frameworks then you can implement into your business, really, no matter what scale. And so sometimes, even though I'm saying once you have been exposed to numbers, concepts, frameworks, does not mean that you automatically have to go and implement that into your business. Maybe it is important for you to do so. Maybe this is something that you should go and build and implement into the business, but maybe it's not. Maybe it's not. Maybe you may have been exposed to it for the first time, learn something new, and you go and you put that on what I call the someday shelf. That's not something I'm going to worry with right now. That's not something we're going to execute on right now. But I'm going to go and I'm going to put that on the shelf. I'll come back to that someday. And what that helps you to do is I literally have a note in Notion called my someday shelf. And so there will be something that I now put through as a filter to say, am I going to do anything with this? is this something that I feel like we should be executing on right now? Should I allocate any amount of resources to this? More often than not, no. And then lastly, if I am going to allocate resources to it, I try as much as possible to then decide, what am I going to remove? If I decide that we are going to move forward with a new initiative, a new idea, a new strategy, then I try to think about, well, what can it take the place of? Instead of it being something new, where we are sticky noting the business, adding, how can I go in more with scissors and remove things? So to land the plane for you today, unconscious incompetence. Give yourself a break. You didn't know. You didn't know that any of these things. You didn't know these marketing numbers as an example. You didn't know how to read your financials. Nobody had ever walked you through it. But once you know, now the responsibility is on you. What are you going to do with that? Are you going to actually execute on that, or does that just need to go on the someday shelf? And if you are going to execute on something, you are going to try to implement a process. You are going to create a playbook. You are going to want to put this in your business in some way, shape, form, or fashion. Is there anything that it can take the place of? Is there something I can take out of the business to make room for this new thing? I hope this helped you. Hope you enjoyed this episode while I'm driving. Being safe. Until next time, lead well and go be great.